The project is about equality, and I feel like we're trying to make it to spread awareness, because not a lot of people are as well educated on this type of stuff, and I think it's really important that people recognize it better.
It's about like making everyone aware of what's going on, what like actually going on about like racism, prejudice, discrimination. Yeah, because I personally don't think not many people know that well about it.
Even if we all came from different parts of the world, we all end up being in the same place, in the same home in Wales.
We started off by recruiting an expert cohort of creative practitioners from culturally and ethnically diverse backgrounds. We then recruited a series of schools, and then we put the creative practitioners in the schools into dialogue with each other. That was really exciting. And so then what the creative practitioner and the class teacher and the learners did is then devise a project, a creative learning project, to explore the themes of Cynefin, Black, Asian and minority ethnic Wales.
I think it's easy for any small nation to, in an effort to protect their culture and their individual identity in the world, that you forget about looking outward, and I think that does happen in Wales. On its own, that's a beautiful sentiment. What does it mean to be Welsh? But actually, what's more important in that discovery of what it means to be Welsh is to ensure that we're not leaving behind the cultures that are very much Welsh as well, that make up this culture. That, what it means to be Welsh isn't a narrow door.
We applied at Severn Primary because we are a hugely diverse school. Over 70% of our children have English as an additional language. There are 55 different languages spoken at our school. So the point of us applying for the project was to try and encourage the children through various art forms to explore their identity and their connection to Wales.
We really thought the school would benefit from being involved with this, because we're quite narrow in our diversity. We do have some children from different ethnic backgrounds in our school, but we wanted the children to have the opportunity to really celebrate the fact that Wales and beyond is very diverse, and everyone needs to feel included, that we might be different, but we can all be part of one community.
I think it's really necessary to introduce children to different lives and different cultures, especially in parts of Wales that lack a lot of diversity, because these children won't only experience this life. They'll go out and they'll meet other people, and it's about understanding that valuing diversity is easier said than done, and kind of giving them the tools and the understanding of who people are, and so that when they do interact and engage with the diversity of people in many ways, not just to do with ethnicity, that they have an understanding of what it means to truly accept someone for their differences.
I think being creative is one of the best ways to explore these sort of issues, because you really get the chance when you're being creative to put yourself into somebody else's shoes. You get a chance to empathise, and you get a chance as well to have the freedom to challenge ideas and express yourself in whatever way feels comfortable.
Mi roedd pob prosiect yn unigryw ac yn berthnasol I gyd-destun yr ysgolion, y disgyblion a lleoliad yr ysgolion o hefyd. Mi roedden ni yn rhoi cyfraniad bach o arian I bob ysgol, felly os oedden nhw isio gwahodd unrhyw siaradwyr gwadd I mewn, unrhyw ymarferwyr creadigol, ychwanegol I mewn, neu unrhyw aelodau'r cymdeithas I fewn I siarad ac I helpu nhw o fewn y broses, mi oedd modd wneud hynny. A mi oedd nhw hefyd wedyn yn gallu defnyddio'r arian hynny ar gyfer unrhyw ddefnyddiau ychwanegol hefyd. Mi nath bob ysgol ddefnyddio gwahanol ffyrdd dysgu creadigol I archwilio Cynefin. Felly, enghraifft, mi gafon ni bypeda, mi gafon ni gerddoriaeth, rap, hip-hop, mi gafon ni ddwnsio, mi gafon ni fwyd a coginio, ffotograffiadau, podlediadau, dim ond i enwi chydig bach o'r enghreifftiau lle.
Dechreuais i prosiect Cynefin yn cysylltu gyda'r disgyblion blwyddyn 8. Sut maen nhw'n teimlo, sut maen nhw'n teimlo yn eu chrif, sut maen nhw'n teimlo yn eu ddosbarth, yn yr ysgol, yn y cymunedau, ac yn y wlad, yn Great Britain. Dyna ble dyn ni'n dechrau ar y ffordd creadigol ar Cynefin. Dyna ble dechreuon ni, gyda cwestiynau dwfn. Everybody's got a different way of expressing themselves, and so what we did with this project was we gave the kids lots of different opportunities. Some felt they could express themselves through poetry, some through music, some through their artwork. So we tried to make it as wide as possible so that everybody would have a chance to be creative in their own way. Mae'n rhy bwysig I fi I gwawrio'r arian yn yr ardal. So mae'r plant wedi cael tasg creadigiol I dylunio tonau a siarad am ei byd, am pethau yn y llyfr. Ond hefyd tasg ymarferol. So ble dyn ni'n mynd I brynu y t-shirts, ble mae'r printer, a pethau fel yna.
Many of the children in our school belong here. Their community grew from the historical interaction of communities hundreds of years ago in the bay. And we talked about that as we went round, that sailors from Somalia and Yemen, places where our children originate from, came because of the development of Cardiff Bay. And isn't it important that we let those children know that the buildings here, the wealth of Cardiff would not be here if it wasn't for their forefathers and all the work that their community has done in Cardiff in the past and now.
The arts gives the kids a platform of expression. They're going to draw, some of them are going to do poems, some of them are just going to listen to the music, some are singing, some are even just talking about it. So there's so many different forms of art. So using art gives the children more abilities and more chances to really express themselves.
The children do appreciate and value each other's differences. They're quite open and that they ask each other questions about what their religions, their ethnicities, how they pray, how they celebrate their different festivals throughout the year. That they are very, very inquisitive and they want to learn from each other.
Some of the kids are from Somalia, Nigeria, I think Gambia, Algeria, Yemen, South Sudan. So it's really nice to see them talking comfortably about their cultures and also us listening to them and understanding where they come from, be it their food, their backgrounds, their dancing, their music. Yeah, and we're just exploring that together.
The Lead Creative Practitioner project first was just about creativity, but now this time was about talking about uniqueness, talking about acceptance, talking about what is the future they want to see in our community.
Basically we had to make puppets first, and I made a little girl called Ayla, and then what we had to do once we've made our puppets was make a theatre for our puppets to work in.
Behind the puppet we are all equal. The puppet is like the ultimate mask, When the puppet talks, it's not the human talking. So the puppet can say anything. The puppet can go ask the hard questions because the puppet is a puppet. So people open themselves and their minds more freely through puppetry.
With the project here, I was invited to use cooking as a medium in order to raise awareness of multicultural Wales. Cookery is as diverse as people, and but cookery adapts when you travel from one country to another. Every time you move into a country, you give part of your culture to that country you move in, but you also take some of the culture and adapt it.
When we first applied for the project, we really wanted to be part of Cynefin because we talked a lot about how that word means about belonging and how it makes you feel like you belong somewhere. Obviously we had Crystal as our creative practitioner and her strength is dance and movement, and we wanted to combine that creative aspect of dance and movement with what we'd learned from Tadrika about the cooking.
It's not just about accepting, it's about honouring and respecting, and I think for me that's what Cynefin is about. It's easy to say the words, I love diversity. You know, I hear people say this a lot, like, you know, we really want diversity, we love it, we want it, inclusion, and they just become meaningless words when it's not backed up with the choice to change these spaces and make them actually accepting for people, warm and welcoming for people, honouring and respectful for people.
The children have loved our Cynefin project days. They've also really enjoyed having the time to talk about themselves, to talk about their families, to talk about their backgrounds. They've loved having the time to explore different art forms. So Susie Joshi, our artist that we were paired with from Arts Council Wales, has tutored them in different art forms.
Creativity is not just about producing a piece of work, it's more than that. And one of the experiences I found was that as soon as I came into the school, I felt that the teachers really embraced me being here, and I felt really welcome. The other thing that I've also found is that not only are the children learning about their background and their culture and their Cynefin, I'm actually learning a lot about myself as well.
The Cynefin project, it's basically something that helps you know about yourself, brings you close to your friends. I didn't know a lot about my former classmates, but now I know a lot. Very much, actually. We've been focusing on like the nice stuff like family, symbols, signs, friends, stuff like that.
Pryd dwi'n gwrando llais y disgyblion, mae llais nhw yn deallus ac yn bwerus hefyd. Rhywbeth, privilege I fi I gweithio ar y project.
I think the process, for me as a creative practitioner, was very rich. And I think the only way for you to do a project like that is to have a two-way road where you are presenting questions and you are learning from the children.
The project has made me think a lot more about different things and things that have been said around me, and a lot more has stood out ever since I've learned the stuff in the project. And I've realised like how some people actually say stuff and do stuff racist or just really offensive quite a lot that I never realised before.
I can see confidence in some of the kids from the first lessons I came to. The second lessons, and you can see now they run up to me, oh no, I got this move, want to do this, want to do that. That's the excitement and the confidence. That's what I want to bring out of the kids, that there's no limit to their success. It doesn't matter where you're from, you can reach the skies. And just like a snowball, it will just keep on rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
At the end of the project today, we've asked whether people feel they belong. People don't feel that they belong any more than they did, but they universally said as a group of, as a class, that they feel that the members of their class are more aware, they feel more supported by the members of their class, and they feel that moving forward, the members of 8x1 will be kind to each other. Because above all, what's come out in the project is, I think as a society, as a people, we're not necessarily being very kind to each other, we're not being kind to the planet, and we can make waves of change.